Bold by Peter Diamandis and Steven Kotler. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and who doesn't want to make self-growth normal? Make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps with ranking and SEO and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because so much work goes into making these videos. In the beginning of this book, the author talks a lot about disruptions. If you know about the book Disrupt You by Jay Samit, you probably know a thing or two about the disruption of industries within companies and within yourself. The authors also talk about demonetization in bold and democratization, dematerialization. And if you don't know what these things are, basically they are reasons why so many giant companies are being capsized and just eaten from the inside out, destroyed left and right, their corpses being walked over carelessly like psychopathic soldiers in mid-war. Wow, that was a really graphic simile. A linear company like Kodak, for example, went bankrupt in 2007, and meanwhile, Instagram, an app, the goal of Instagram was to make photography, in the founder's words, as convenient as holding a pencil. Instagram was bought by Facebook and replaced the convenience of photography along with the iPhone with only 13 employees for $1 billion. And it blows me away when people think these things are not worth paying attention to. Really? Do you know the effects of these disruptions? I mean, I guess I just talked about a couple of them, but this book explores many more, as well as the causes. There are 3 parts of the book, Bold, and each of them describing the quote-unquote bold resources that we have to kind of use to create wealth and make a huge impact on the world. I know that resources are allegedly not everything. One of my heroes, Tony Robbins, likes to say that, you know, it's not about resources, it's a lot more about resourcefulness. But one of the resources of the 3 heavily involves resourcefulness. Actually, I think 2 of them do, probably. There may be 3, but I guess all of them. So let's talk about those. The 3 parts, the bold resource groups, if you will, are technology, mindset, and people. Technology, that part does talk a lot about the different D words we just talked about. There are 6 main ones, I think 3 of them we just mentioned. And those are causing people to do a lot of the things he talks about in this book. In the book, they talk about exponential versus linear growth. And at first, I really didn't understand this because I really hate math. Like a lot of people probably watching this, but I really like basic math, but still I didn't understand it. So the difference between how old companies grow and new companies grow is like the difference between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Like at first, exponential might not seem like a lot, but it adds up pretty quickly. And with exponential growth, it talks about robotics. Robotics is the fastest growing industry in the world, and it's expected to stay that way for the next decade. You might know about Moore's Law, which is not some long, complicated to explain thing. The law is that computer power doubles every 18 months. So that's insane, but you wanna know what's 5 times more insane? Literally, biotech. It's growing 5 times faster. Synthetic biology is becoming the new entrepreneur's playground. In the second part, the bold mindset part, Jeff Bezos says, apparently once in a conference, that the beginning of a company should be pretty focused on systematically decreasing the risk, because the risk is high enough as it is. Companies will put out something kinda okay, like a beta version, and ask for feedback from the users. Because, you know, nowadays, done is better than perfect. At least in technology. The users will then come back with feedback, and then the company will improve it. Everything that grows exponentially that involves people basically does this. So they can fail fast, fail early, and fail forward. That and moonshots, which I thought was originally just taking shots of moonshine. I was like, damn, I didn't know they get that lit in Silicon Valley, but okay. But he talks about where Larry Page and Google have what they've done. If you just try to make things 10% better, you're not gonna win. So you need to throw out the rule book. It doesn't really work nowadays. And think so big, it all blurs the line between what we see nowadays and science fiction. However, of course, you need to kind of study the feasibility of what you're doing. And then he reads this list of 28, I think bold thinking laws. I think that's what they are. These just really made me smile. They were awesome. Lots of them, because lots of them were just cliches basically flipped upside down. And then thinking at scale, going over multi-billionaire CEOs and their drive, their passion, and their purpose. A little bit about their histories, just like unfathomable degrees of success. So I think it was like an interview with each one of them. I think it was Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. This is the kind of connects this Peter Diamandis guy has. Richard Branson and Larry Page. And I know there are some people I've mentioned in my reviews and addressed as my personal heroes. There may be 6 of them. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are without question on that list. But they're my heroes because like all 6 of them divided by 6, that's like my aspirations in a nutshell. And what I love about this section with the risk analyses of these 4 different guys is that, of course, they are also different from each other and how they're different from each other. But they all still worked out like really well. Bezos says that a lot of people ask me what's going to be around in the next 10 years, but no one asks me what's not going to be around in the next 10 years. And I can guarantee you that that is the more important question of the 2. Larry Page launched Calico, that's what it's called, with Google, which you could also call Google versus death. It's an anti-aging company. They're fighting death. Really think about that. That is big, big, big thinking. People think Grant Cardone, another hero of mine, writer of my second favorite book, The 10X Rule, is full of shit. He does contradict himself a lot. But if you work for Larry Page and you're not thinking 10x, as the author says, don't expect to work for him for long. And the bold people, the third part, is where the people come in. And this part talks a lot about crowdfunding and crowdsourcing and how to do it and why to do it and how to work with people, all this other stuff, where to go. And so we have the bold technology, the bold mindset, and the bold people. And crowdfunding and crowdsourcing, that's a really rare thing for books like this to talk about because, again, a lot of it has to do with resourcefulness. And I imagine it's probably more resourceful and more effective, maybe depending on how you approach it, than just looking for investors. And the author explains why, of course, like he does for a lot of things throughout the book. Quotes, "The very best people to help you on your next project are those who helped you or watched you succeed with your last. The squeaky wheel gets replaced. No matter who you are, there's usually 100,000 uncapped dollars floating around your social network." Direction 1. Anytime the author has a direction of their own, I try to keep note of it. And to this day, my direction 1 has always been in agreement with theirs, but this is the first time it isn't. I'm just kidding. I actually really agree with this one. Not based on my experience, but, well, we'll see. He says the book is a manifesto and a manual for today's, what he called, exponential entrepreneur. Anyone interested in going big, creating wealth, and impacting the world. And it's weird to think that so many people on the planet are not. On top of creating his own portfolio, Peter Diamandis, of companies which is growing, obviously he has connects and is good friends with owners of some of the richest, most iconic tech companies on the planet. So originally, I guess I just got this book because I really wanted to know what he had to say. If you like this book, I'm not sure who would dislike this book. It's a really good book. I recommend checking out The Inevitable by Kevin Kelly, about the 12 technological forces that are kind of shaping our future, and Disrupt You by Jay Salmon, about self-disruption and disrupting companies and disrupting entire industries, and how a lot of stuff this book talks about, a lot of those books will kind of talk about, but it dives really deep holes into stuff that this book doesn't. Bold by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out as well. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it, but hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't know why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe, but if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I'll see you then.